Are you ready?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. Okay, here is the story. My name is Dee Burns. This is not going to be a full-blown podcast today. It's just like a 15-minute little segment. I'm calling this "Okay, here is the story" light because my podcast is about stories, and I don't know. I woke up yesterday morning and I don't know, something in my mind and in my heart told me you have to tell this story on your podcast. I don't know if somebody out there needs this story. So I'm going to tell it and we'll just go from there. So I, after I got a divorce, I would say it was probably 2 or 3 years after I had gotten a divorce. And the boys came to me and they were like, "Mom, could you please start dating again?" Not that I was being crazy or anything. They just knew how lonely I was. And they knew every day I was getting up, going to work, coming home, cleaning, cooking, taking care of them. I'm not a big believer, and this is just my opinion. I was not a big believer in when you get a divorce, you start dating. I felt like my focus should be more on providing security and stability for my boys. And so that's what I was concentrating on. And the boys knew, they saw, I don't know if it was in my actions or in what, but they knew I was lonely. And that's why they got together and then came to me and said, "Mom, please start dating." So I said, okay. So this was back in the day when Craigslist had a personals section and you could go on there and make like a little advertisement profile thing or whatever, where you could put your picture on there. You could tell a little bit about yourself. It was all free. And, I understand that they took it down because, there was some human trafficking going on. And I understand that. But it sucks because it was really nice. It was good if you used it right. So I did that. I went in and I put a profile on. And pretty soon I got a message from this guy. We're going to call him Fred. That's not his name, but we're going to call him Fred. And so I went in and looked on his profile and I was like, why is this guy sending me a message? Because it was so good looking. I mean, and he, from his profile, it looked like he was a great guy. He was ex-military. He had a great job. He was tall, blonde. His hair was like, I want to say it was like to his shoulders. And it was, like I said, it was blonde and wavy, and it was just gorgeous. I loved his hair. Loved his hair. I have a thing for guys with longer hair. But anyway, he asked me out. And I couldn't understand why this guy was asking me out, but he did. And I said, yeah, let's go out. So we went out for supper. And, oh dear, we went out for supper and we had a couple drinks. And then he said, let's order an appetizer. Okay, great. Is there anything on the appetizer menu that you would like to order? Now, ladies, this is where I should have said, yeah, I would like to order onion rings. Or, yeah, I would like to order fried mushrooms. But instead, I said, no, that's fine. Yeah, let's order an appetizer. You order anything you want to order. Now, here in Wisconsin, I swear to God, every restaurant has cheese curds as an appetizer on their menu. I am not a cheese curd fan. I like cheese, just not deep fat fry. I'm just not a cheese curd fan. What did he order? He ordered cheese curds, and I was like, damn. Ugh, it's okay. So when they came to the table, he was eating the cheese curds, and we were talking, and I had like half of one because, not a fan. And he looked at me, and he was like, how come you're not eating cheese curds? And I said, well, you know what? I'm not really a fan of them. I like some of them. I'm not a fan. So yeah, way to go, D. Date's off to a great start. But anyway, we continued to date after that and really get to know each other. And I was really falling for him. Like I said, he was ex-military, had a great job, great guy. He was great, great. Had his own house. He lived in the country. He lived in a town about 45 minutes to an hour north of where I currently live, South Milwaukee, and I was living in South Milwaukee at the time. And yeah, so he was a great guy. And like I said, I was kind of falling for him. So as we kept dating, you know, and again, at this time in my life, and I've said it on this podcast before, used to be a terrible cook. I mean, my boys, they grew up on Casey's Pizza and Hamburger Helper. Really, ask them. They'll tell you, yes. And honestly, I'm shocked that my boys made it to adulthood just because of the way that I cooked for them. I mean, it was terrible, 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 terrible cook I was. So one night I said to Fred, I'll make supper. And he's like, okay. So I got off work and I went to Piggly Wiggly and I bought a rotisserie chicken. I bought a whole meal. Rotisserie chicken was the meat. And then I think we had coleslaw. I think I bought coleslaw or potato salad, something, but I bought the whole meal. And I drove up to his place and he wasn't home from work yet. So, I got everything laid out. I got the rotisserie chicken laid out. You got bowls and I put the coleslaw or whatever, the side dishes. I put those in the bowl. I had the table set and everything. Oh my gosh. And then I took all of the bowls and bags and receipts and I took them out to his garbage. Now, I thought that I hid them pretty well, but apparently I didn't and I don't remember what the comment was that he made, but he made a comment later on about, yeah, that was great rotisserie chicken from Piggly Wiggly. I mean, I don't know if that was his comment, but it was something like that. And I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed of my lack of skill to make a meal. And then I was embarrassed that I got caught. But, he never, like I said, he made that one comment. And then after that, just really not, he didn't keep harping on it. So anyway, one night we were laying in bed and I will tell you that this moment was probably, it's in the top 10 moments that I've had with a guy. And we were laying in bed and it was like 11:30 at night. It was pretty late. And he said, "Are you awake?" I said, "Yeah, I'm still awake." And he goes, "Okay, get dressed, come downstairs, meet me in the garage." Okay. So he takes off, running downstairs to the garage. And I can hear him, going out to the garage. So I get up, I get dressed, and I go downstairs to the garage, and he is sitting. He had this motorcycle, and it was a gorgeous motorcycle. Now, it wasn't a motorcycle like what you're thinking. It was a three-wheeler. And how it is it's the two seats are right next to each other. So you sit in these seats right next to each other and go down the road. And like I said, it's a three-wheeler. I can't remember if it had two wheels in the front and one in the back or vice versa. But it's considered a motorcycle. So he's like, "Get in the motorcycle." I was like, okay. So I got in and we take off out of the garage. Now, keep in mind, he lives in the country. So, us leaving on a motorcycle that late at night, it's not going to wake up his neighbors because there really wasn't neighbors around. So we take off. And, I tell you, he drove to some town. I can't even tell you what the town was, but it was some little town. We drove around Main Street and it was it was one of those summer nights where it was warm. The skies were clear. The moon was full. It was gorgeous. It was just gorgeous out. And we drove around this little town a little bit. And then I don't know where he went, but we ended up driving along Lake Michigan. And like I said, it was a gorgeous night. It was clear. The moon was out. It was full. And, it was just, there was this beautiful reflection of the moon off of Lake Michigan. And I took a picture of it. And matter of fact, that picture is my screensaver on my computer because I love that picture so much. And it was just such a gorgeous evening. So, we ended up getting back to his place, I don't know, I would say 12:30, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. It was pretty late. And, we had just, like I said, that moment is one of the top 10 moments I've had with a guy. And So we continued to date, and I was really falling for this guy. I mean, I really was. I'm not one to fall in love quickly, but I kind of was with him. And I I was really falling for him. And then all of the sudden, we just weren't seeing each other anymore. And I could not tell you why why we stopped seeing each other, but I will tell you that I was heartbroken. And when I realized that we weren't going to be dating anymore, that's when all my insecurities came into play. It was like, why doesn't he want to date me? What's wrong with me? Was it the fact that I can't cook? Was it the fact that I didn't tell him, no, I don't like cheese curds. Don't order those. I didn't know. And all the insecurities that I had about myself came into play. And I was sad. There was crying involved. And it upset me that we weren't dating anymore. And then I heard later that he had met another woman. And I recently just learned that he got remarried. And I don't know if it's to the same woman. I don't know. But, it broke my heart because I really liked him a lot and we had great chemistry. But I don't know if you're going through something right now, relationship wise, but I want you to know that we're out there and we've all had our heart broken. If you've ever loved someone, you've had your heart broken. That's just how it is. And I want to tell you this, there is somebody out there for you because had I continued to date Fred, I would not have met Best Friend. And Best Friend saved my life. He changed my life. And, we'll talk about that when he's on my podcast. But had I not stopped dating Fred, I would not have met Best Friend. So please know if you are at that time in your life when you're coming out of a relationship where your heart is hurt and it's broken, please, please just know that there is somebody out there for you and you're going to find them. You will, I promise you. And your life will be so much better. And, it will. I promise you. I'm 52 years old. Not that I am so old that I've had so many experiences, but I can tell you that yes, your heart today is broken and today you're crying and today you're sad, but tomorrow might be different. So I hope you know that. I hope you know that there are those of us out there that will talk to you. Leave a comment on, here on my podcast. I am always willing to talk to you. I am willing to listen. So I hope this helped you today, whatever you're going through. And I hope you know that there are people out there for you and that we do love you. And I just hope that your tomorrow is better and that your week is better. So thank you, everybody. I love you. Keep on keeping on.